It's back on April 3rd. I took some video of me using a manual dethatching rake on this part of the yard right here under the playground. Today it's April 13th. It's been 10 days. I just cut it, but I wanted to show you what it's like if you don't pull the thatch out. Over here I never actually took the dethatching rake to this. This section of the grass is probably about the thickest that I've got anywhere in my lawn, and probably it's because it's ever so slightly slanted from the patio down here. We get really good coverage with the sprinkler system here, and for whatever reason it just must have rooted really well when we installed the sod. But this is what I'm talking about. Right now this is very low cutting. I've got this setting set to the number 2 setting on my 2 battery mowers that I've been using this week, my Ego and my Snapper. But it doesn't seem very long, but the thing is, as you get down inside it, there's like an entire layer of, let's see if I can get in there, there's a really thick spongy layer of stuff in here, and I cannot even get to the soil with my finger. I have to really pull grass to the side, and I feel like as I pull this, look at this, right in that area right there, everything moves like it's a carpet. Point being, all of this, let's see if I could just pull stuff up with my finger. So underneath you've got this dry kind of, I mean, this is almost like mulch. It's almost like what you buy in a big bag to mulch your garden. I mean, there's just a thick, enormous layer of it. If I were to be able to get my finger all the way into the soil, I'm all the way down to really pull to do this. And now my finger is way here. So now I've got about that much of a hole made, and my fingertip is just barely getting to the soil level right now, just barely. So there's a ton of thatch in here, and it makes it very hard to cut through with regular lawnmowers without scalping it. So anyway, I'm going to have to take the dethatching rake to that. I think it'll make the lawn a lot healthier to get some of that stuff out. I know it looks really healthy, but it's very thick. It takes an enormous amount of water to get through all the way to the soil level. What's up, my man?
Hi.
Hi. And I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like real grass. So I'm going to take the thatching rake to it over here. I've dethatched most of the area all around here except for this little spot here. So I'll set the camera up on a tripod, and I'll let you see how much comes up. So in the video I did talk a little bit about how the thatch layer stops the water from getting all the way down to the soil level. It really does take an awful lot of water to penetrate all the way down to the soil and stimulate root growth as it's supposed to. And ironically, when the thatch gets so thick, it actually becomes hard to use this thatch rake to pull it out because it's just so thick. So kind of what I'm doing here is incremental progress. This will probably take a number of passes, probably even throughout the season, to clean up this whole area near the playground. In addition to the scalping problem, because when your lawnmower rolls over the grass, it's not actually rolling on the ground, so it sinks down into the ground because the thatch layer is really spongy, and the leaf blades, which are up on top of the thatch, really get cut exceptionally short because the mower is sinking down, whereas the grass that's getting cut is not getting pressed down. I don't know why it's kind of hard to explain, but when that thatch layer gets super thick and you bring your lawnmower down low for a low cut, it becomes extremely hard to cut it. If you take the extra steps to put fertilizer, weed stop, or any other manual application of a liquid or a dry product, it's also very hard to get the product down to the soil unless the product you're putting down is absorbed through the leaf blade. Most things really need to get down to the soil and get into the root structure, and that becomes very, very hard as this mat of thatch and dead clippings that sits on top of the thatch builds up. So getting it up is very important for the long-term health of your lawn. So that's what I put together. You know, pretty much. Man, I'm all winded now. You're not kidding, man. Those dethatching rakes are tiring. This was all right there. I still got some that I can rake up with a regular rake. But now, as you can see, you can actually get in there. There's still stuff down there. So there's still, you know, a bunch of this kinds of stuff in there, but at least it's opened up a bit more. So this stuff, most of it is carbon-based old dead thatch and dead grass that just hasn't broken down. There's a little bit of greens in here, but it's mostly carbon stuff. So I'm probably going to use a little bit of it as mulch in the garden, and the rest of it I'm going to use it as a brown material, a carbon-based material for my compost piles that I've been working on this month. So we'll follow up with some of those composting videos later. In the meantime, I'm going to rake this up and catch my breath. All right, so that was the first video I ever made on this channel having to do with thatch. Since then, I have produced a lot of content on thatch management, thatch control, thatch removal. If you have thatch in your lawn, which many of you do, I suggest taking a look at this video. It's an all-encompassing how do you get rid of thatch from your lawn. Take a look at it. It's got a ton of good information in there. Also in the description are links over to the Turp Mechanic website with articles, written documentation on how to deal with thatch in your lawn. Thank you for watching.